Going to call us to order. It is 7:00. It does not look like we have any citizen comments, so we will move to our first agenda item, which is to consider approval of the minutes from our April 11th meeting and take appropriate action. So those were sent to you. They're also in your packet.
I motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, Zach motions, Lee seconds. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, motion is approved. All right, trustee reports. We don't have an active trustee right now, but if you heard or read something interesting about a library, feel free to share. I am doing the same thing you were doing. Is like, I did hear or read something and I was like, that is cool. And now I can't remember what it was.
So I did read something and I'm remembering it now.
Good job, David.
Yeah. One of my old go-tos, right? The overdue library book that goes way too far. So some of y'all might be too young to remember Uri Geller. The name Uri Geller. Uri Geller, anybody?
No.
He was a famous fraudster. Got called out on Johnny Carson's show because he used to be able to say that he could bend spoons with his mind. Right. And what was happening really is that these people were out there bending the spoons and making them all nice. Then so he just go, right? He had his own overdue library book. It was his own book that he had published 30 something years ago that he found and returned to life.
Was it bad?
Huh?
Was it bad?
Right. Was it best? I just thought that was funny. He found his own book that his daughter checked out the library.
That's
Returned it 30
I would then move that they do not wait to come out.
Actually, they did.
Okay.
That's funny. Any other libraries, books in the news? I know I heard or read something and it was like long enough ago that I was like, that's neat, but I'm gonna forget it because I can't write it down right now.
I have heard a little bit of the noise you talked last time about the concern that AI is bringing to copyright. I've read a few things along that about how that can impact people deal with their own material that somebody is using. Issues with that. There's a lot of buzz and rightfully so.
That is a very hot button topic right now, especially with the art involved.
Yes. All right, anything else? All right, then we will move to the next item, which is patron feedback. I'll give you a minute. There's just two things. Well, I guess technically three things, four things, but one kind of really, sorry, I missed, there's two tiny ones and then there's two kind of big ones. Anyway, there's one really large one, and I'll give you time to read and process the original thing plus Heather's response. All right, thoughts? Since you've had a chance to process all of that.
You're gonna summarize that in that sentence. Or notes.
Yeah, disgruntled patron
Yeah.
who finds people disrespectful or being loud. Or too louder than they would like, I guess is the more.
Well, I mean, I get the loudness bit, right? Not a daycare and all that kind of stuff. I get it, but there's not much you can do because it is a public location that people can bring their kids in and you're not babysitters. But there are other bits I think are a topic that needs to come back up again, especially considering how everything got voted down over and over again for repairs and updates to this
Mhm.
library. This is somebody expressing their same frustrations that this is outdated, the Wi-Fi is outdated, the
Small.
USB is outdated. Cell phone reception non-existent. There's solutions to all of these things, but it just takes time, money, and want.
Right,
Want.
it requires the city to be interested in fixing these things. And they were a problem when the library was remodeled and they were not addressed, and it's still a problem.
And they were given an opportunity to pass a large bond,
To build a new facility.
to build a new facility or to improve this one, and it was shot down. So you get what you get.
Wasn't there something in the works though about at least the operating systems on the computers being upgraded?
Yes.
Negligible compared to
Oh, I know.
other stuff.
So the system, just to answer your question, the new computer system has been ordered.
Mhm.
Has not arrived yet. I don't have a shipping date on it. It's called the Comprise system and it has been, the order has been put in. So we're just waiting on shipping dates and install dates.
Yeah, when I was without power for 4 days this week or last week, whatever it was,
Mhm.
I had to come here a
Mhm.
couple of times to actually get some work done, and it was a little bit challenging. It wasn't because the library was jam-packed with people, they really weren't, but it's a limitation of the bandwidth. It's a limitation of space. I had a hard time finding a decent space to set up. So I feel, I understand their concerns, I really do, and I understand it's the office. But you have to provide somewhat level amenities these days.
Any other thoughts on any of the other?
Well, just maybe some education or some, communication about that there are some limitations, you can't really keep people from gaming if they're.
Well, you don't want to throw out the library's specs.
No, yeah, I don't know how you.
I don't understand the extra small library and very, very limited selection on resources comment. Because our library really isn't that small.
It's about the same size as any of the,
Yeah.
I would say Dallas Public Library, like neighborhood ones, right?
Yeah.
And it's designed, I think those serve about as many people.
For the population that Farmers Branch serves, this is actually considered a rather larger physical space.
Right.
So is it perspective? And like, or is it like the layout and such the problem? Or, because to me, that's just an interesting comment, because I have noticed that it is a little clunky in areas. Like
Mhm.
there's things
Well, it
that
was
are,
a fire station
right.
originally, like in the 70s. Like it was not, this is not a building that was built with the intent of being a public library. This building was originally built as a fire station. And as a fire station, like the layout and everything
Mhm.
makes sense. For a library, it does not, which is why
Okay.
probably 4 or 5 years ago, there was the vote that Mayor Dye pushed for to do a tear down rebuild, to build us a library that was designed to be a library, but the citizenry voted against it. And so you had an opportunity. I think my thing to this person is you had an opportunity to get a building that was designed to be a library, and your fellow citizenry voted against that.
Mhm.
And then there was a different set of money that was going to be used to do renovations that was different from the amount of money that was actually used for the renovations. And there was a group of people who felt like that first move, that money that was going to be used was being used by the city illegally. And they put together a petition. And so now we were using much less money. I mean, the thing is there were citizens in the city who every step of the way stepped in and fought progress that would have fixed this exact comment.
I see. Okay.
Yep.
And some of those people are in high leadership, elected officials in this city. And are addressed in this and will probably do nothing because they've done nothing the whole time. So that's that. That's the history of the library. And I get why people are frustrated because it could be something better than it is. And when people were given an opportunity to help it be something better than it is, they chose not to.
An active campaign came out.
And there was
to
an-
say-
yeah. So if you've lived here for more than the last 3 to 4 years, then
I haven't yet.
Yeah.
So.
so there's some, yeah, like there's some history, like that's part of what pushed me to like want to be on the board, because there were some citizenry shenanigans where we were not being good neighbors and looking out for the best interest of the collective group, and we're putting our own interests and political gains ahead of
Mhm.
Makes sense.
the larger group and what benefits them. So, but yeah, I get it. I would also say to this person that like library etiquette has changed a little bit, that it's not the place it was when I was a kid. Like I talked a lot as a child, and my parents would take me to the library because I came home whispering because that was the environment. Yeah. They found that it worked to make me be quiet because I had to whisper for so long that I couldn't stop whispering once I left for like half an hour. So anyway, all right. Any other thoughts on any of those
But I think Heather's responsive.
things? I do. Yes.
Yes.
Heather did a great job.
Yeah.
I agree. That
Glad to
was-
see that you are responding to the comments.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's important. I've always felt that it's important,
Yeah.
even like personal, we're not that kind of, right, professional.
Well, Thank you. I will say that comment was a collaboration between Robert and my
Your-
boss before it
yeah.
actually went out,
Yeah.
just to make sure that I wasn't speaking on behalf of the city out of turn or anything like that. So I did get approval, and that was a combined effort.
Is that someone you've heard from before?
Not before, but he has been back in since.
Okay.
He is in about around every other day. But he has, just last week, he landed a new job that starts at the end of the month. So he may be coming in a little less frequently. Little,
Well, congratulations. Thank you.
yes.
All right. Your turn, Heather.
My turn. All right, I have documentation. Because I forget things easily. As we all know, summer reading has kicked off. Unfortunately, as we discussed earlier, summer reading kickoff was postponed. We have rescheduled the bubble truck to July 13th. But we still did very well. Some of our highlights for the last couple of months, our English classes for adults are held twice a week, and they average 40 people per class. And that is ongoing. That's not a individual intent. Our story times are doing very well, and it's gotten a little bit bigger this month, but we are averaging nearly 40
Oh,
to each story time as well. That's across
Like
the age
even,
group.
I was gonna say even with like the babies and things who,
Yes,
like summer doesn't really affect them.
yes.
But
But
if
with
their
their
parents or
additional
teachers or
children at
something,
home, they want to get out.
Out, probably, yeah.
Mhm.
And they can't necessarily go to the park as easily because it's hotter outside. So they are coming in.
Mhm.
We have started with some outreach. In April was the Fish and Fun event. Dustin attended that and he went out to the local schools. Sorry, I don't remember exactly how many to promote summer reading, but he was on the announcements on quite a few and then he did some
So
story
that's
time.
fun.
So we are getting some traction with school students that are out for summer. Dustin is also doing the weekly story time, the Funshine at the Rec Center. So we
That's good
are
for those
working
kids.
on getting that out. The 3D printer and the Glowforge are available for reservation now. Our first reservation for both are tomorrow, actually. It took a little bit to get our first attendees certified, but there is an online certification. It takes about 20 minutes, give or take. And then you'll get a certificate of completion and then you can come in and use the machines. If you prefer not to do online certifications, we are hosting classes. They do require registration because we want to make sure everyone gets the safety protocols. I think the last thing on my list here is the Blackland Prairie Raptor Center will be here next week. So, Birds of Prey, come see them.
All right.
That always has really high attendance.
Mhm.
Because everyone likes those big birds,
Big scary bird.
big scary birds.
Dinosaurs. Really.
Dinosaurs with wings.
Mhm.
What did I see? I saw something that said, are we sure this is what dinosaurs look like? Because we're basing it off of their bones.
Mhm.
But have you seen the skeleton of a rabbit?
No.
Not outside of the road, no.
If you take the skeleton of a rabbit, you could make a pretty scary dinosaur out of it if you didn't have any idea of what their skin looked like or
Sure.
anything else. I mean, they have fangs too.
Yeah, leather them up. Yeah.
It's like, do we know what, like you said, it's, the dinosaurs could have been fuzzy
Yeah, or have feathers, they don't know.
feathers, right? They could have been fur, could have been feather, could have been pink.
We have no idea.
Nope.
I would have loved that. Maybe Barney is not such a crazy idea. A big purple T-Rex.
But
Mhm.
And that seems the
Mardi
dances.
Gras dinosaur?
Yeah, totally could have happened. You don't know.
As part of the director's report, Rachel, would you like to do your part?
What is my part?
Oh, we had, in our monthly discussion, we talked about the city council decision about the long-term goals of the
long-term,
library.
Yeah, our 2045 plan.
The expansion project.
Right. So at this time, those items are not making it into this fiscal year budget that they're currently working on. It's not a complete no, but it's not a now, not a happening now thing. I'm not sure if you guys are aware that there are changes that were made in the Texas legislature that are gonna put some constraints on our tax dollars, or the way the cities can use tax dollars. And so thinking long-term, I think they're trying to make very careful decisions about how resources are spent for now. So I know that's disappointing. But it's not a never gonna happen. It's just that this is not the right time for it.
So 2045 is becoming 2050.
I know.
It's still only 2024, so that's still 20 years. So just because it's not happening this year doesn't mean you don't have time.
Sure, but it sounds like it's
It's-
just gonna take the 5-year stuff, move it to year 10.
Potentially.
Kick
Well, and I don't know, I don't know the history of that 2045 plan, but, and I'll learn more, but it sounds like there's improvements that need to be made that might supersede an expansion project. Because if we're talking about, the infrastructure of the library needing help, which it sounds like that is an issue.
Mhm.
Prioritizing budgetary needs. Expansion may not be the answer yet.
Yeah, oh, you certainly did mention something that reminded me of, if you go back to the original plan for not the new library, but the renovations of the library.
Yeah.
There were must-haves,
Mhm.
nice to haves, and so on, right?
Right.
The must-haves included things like ADA compliant stairs
Mhm.
that are still not there.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't take much to take care of something like that. You have a lawsuit waiting to happen of somebody that is visually impaired falling down the stairs because they're not ADA compliant, things like that. So I would encourage that to be revisited and allocate some budget for that. That would prevent a lawsuit down the line.
Noted.
Yeah.
That was new information for me as well, so.
Yeah, that was on the original.
That was on our like walkthrough. That was like my first meeting was our
Mhm.
official walkthrough of the library after it had, the renovation had been done. So
Yeah.
we're talking 5 years.
Completed the renovations. Said,
three-
this is what you get
something
out
like
of
that, 3 or
what
4
was
years.
asked for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they didn't even get that little bit done.
And all we asked for was like reflective tape or something.
Yeah, that's all that it takes.
That's all it takes is reflective tape at the end of each step to denote that that is,
That's not-
The end of the step.
because when you look at them, if you're visually impaired, it all, you can't
It all
tell.
blends together.
all blends
No idea
together.
You're stepping, somebody's gonna take a header down those stairs and it's gonna be a bad lawsuit.
But yeah, it'll be bad for that person,
And that, yes.
life ending.
Well, they're not that steep.
No, but just the tumbling and then the big thing at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna go down hard.
Good.
That sounds like an easy win, so we
Yeah.
can definitely take that to facilities and see what we can make happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, if there
There-
was
and
some
there
sort of
was
ADA
supposed to
police
be-
that came through, they would
Right,
be
sure.
dinging you.
Mhm.
And there were supposed to be like Wi-Fi boosters and things like that put in as part of the renovation that were apparently ordered, but we're on our third library director since the renovation.
No offense.
No offense, that's not a, that's more a dig at like.
The length of time.
The length of time, right? That, and they were ordered or on order or about to be ordered and have never shown up or been installed.
Which would help with sending the complaint.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the one, going back to that one individual's complaint about having outdated USB charging ports,
That's
right?
such an easy fix. That's a
Just go to Home
swapping of an
Depot and buy
outlet.
Go to Home Depot and buy a couple.
Okay, that's fun.
Exactly.
You don't even have to change out the.
Oh, you don't want the top, over top.
Is there,
That's true.
That-
um, this information, I've reviewed the minutes for the last couple of years, and this was not in them.
The
So-
minutes in our, were not super great.
I was not secretary then.
I,
I just wanted to know if
They
there
were a
was
little
any
more
kind of
like-
documentation
You
to
can go
show
back
what
and-
was
Yeah.
attempted, what.
Yeah, because
You can go back and find the presentations.
so many of these things are like little things that could potentially
be a wall order,
be,
kinda.
yeah. So I'm curious, it's like, if
Because it was all rolled into the renovation.
Right, so we
It
know,
it was all, it was a all or nothing.
so
so,
like low hanging fruit of things that didn't get done as part of, that were supposed to get done as part of the renovation, the ADA,
Mm-hmm.
compliance, the,
Wi-Fi
USB
boosters.
and updating. the-
Yeah, and even just like.
Is there
updating-
anything else?
And those are pretty easy
Yeah.
wins.
Right, that's what I'm
Right off,
thinking.
Yeah.
right off the bat, Wi-Fi boosters get a little bit.
And a lot of those
Go down
Wi-Fi
steps.
boosters can also boost self-service reception.
Okay,
Especially
so
if people-
other than those three things, is there anything else that comes to mind that,
I would have to dig it up.
okay? And when you dig it up, like what, is there a document that?
No,
There's
that's
a whole
what I'm-
Presentation. There's a whole presentation to council on this stuff for months.
But, you're like pre-renovation,
Yes,
Okay.
the renovation
okay, I can go,
proposal.
I
Ben-
guess what I need to know. is,
Ben,
like,
the
Yes.
city manager,
Absolutely.
was our city liaison
Yes.
during the time of the renovation.
Yes, you can
And it would have been a presentation that he made.
Okay,
and
so-
that would have been 2020?
20, no, oh, maybe, no.
Before or after COVID? Before or after COVID started?
let's see, they opened it when Charles retired.
It was pretty.
It would have been
Yeah.
pre-COVID.
so
Yeah,
twenty.
So the night-
19.
19.
yeah, let's start with 19.
Yeah.
Which one?
that's-
Ben would remember.
We can,
He gave the
That'll
presentation.
give me somewhere to look to see if I can't find some of this information to do some of this updating.
But yeah, the, like you said, the lowest of the low hanging fruit.
I mean, basically that person's complaint
That's
is
operational.
everything that was like not finished from the renovation. Right? That's like just not coming back to paint something.
And I mean, it's not a good excuse. There's been so much.
There's been a lot of,
Fixing and turnover and.
I disagree with that statement.
Stopped, and
Yeah.
so I feel like these are things that just easily got left in the shuffle of people.
Mhm.
So if we can make it happen, we will, especially as we like wind down at the end of the budget year and there's some maybe extra funds laying around, we could hopefully, I'll look around. And ask around.
Some of these might be as easy as putting in a ticket to say, hey, it's not done, we need it.
Yeah.
Especially-
Like these outlets all look new. Like those would have all been put in with like the USB in them.
So it's burned.
That one doesn't.
Yeah.
It might just like behoove someone from.
you're talking about, or do you have like chairs that
So
have, or
there are-
tables?
No, it's
it would
supposed to
just
just like the
be-
outlets, like those.
The outlets in each of the
Yeah.
computers.
They have the older
Yeah.
USBs,
Yeah,
on,
the
there's the
old-
USB-C now,
Right.
right? But then they're gonna call USB-E,
These
they're gonna call right? So you do have to kind of slowly roll those things, I guess.
Maybe we can afford 5 or 6 right now, and then next time we.
But
can
in the high
afford 5 or 6.
population areas, well,
Charging station, does that make any sense? Oh, yeah, we
Oh,
have
wow.
those around. Sorry, I don't.
Yes.
know About what's happening.
They're just really heavy,
No,
but
that's
yes, we
okay.
have a few of these around.
are they battery powered?
They're not.
Sounded like they were.
They're really have a heavy base.
Well, that's good.
They
Yeah,
cannot.
but
Like a
no,
walk
like your
out.
idea is having charging stations actually in the chairs or in the desks that are along out there.
Yeah.
Good opportunities for those as well.
But even like, and-
Those are minor modernizations.
yeah, because that was like at, when I was in the hospitals a lot, they even have your ones that are like the old podium stands, but they're like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But they're like, so they're easy to see, tall.
If you ever gone to the American Airlines side of
Yeah.
those, you can borrow the charger.
Yes.
thing, Those cool.
So we
Yes.
have some for checkout. Is that what you'd like us?
No, not necessarily
Not-
checkout, but no, you come in here, you got your phone and you're like, oh, I need something to charge and I forgot my cable and all that. Grab a charger. It's already battery powered.
It's like a battery pack with
It's a
it.
battery
Yeah.
pack. You just
You're
charge it.
young enough, you know.
I do. Thank you.
Yeah. I feel like I started explaining things and then I'm my audience
Right,
knows.
but
I
you
can
get-
tell.
Actually, I can buy a 2-pack for
There
that.
at the AC, you can rent
Yes.
They're not as
you
powerful,
rent them.
but they get the
and
job.
pop back in. Here, you could use your car.
It's mine.
Check one ask.
Right.
Something to be sponsored.
For charges. So,
I mean,
And it came in really handy when the power was out.
oh,
Mhm.
I was not sitting in the car running gas to try to.
They aren't gonna-
Yeah, yeah.
But I also had no TV because AT&T died that weekend too.
Are we ready to?
okay.
so minor, for minute purposes,
Uh-huh.
minor modernization opportunities being looked at. Is that appropriate for?
Yes.
Okay.
Very well summarized.
Mhm. I think my concern with this move, one, we did it, all of the planning of it was done at the mayor's direction at a board chair, luncheon. I don't remember if it was one of our daytime ones or when they got moved to the nighttime. But he asked all of the board chairs to reference the city's 2045 plan, have their boards look through it, and each board see how they could come alongside the city's plan to help meet some of those objectives. So that is what we did. So I'm a little frustrated that they're saying, well, we don't want to spend money on that when we did exactly what they asked us to do. And Marilyn very often says when we go to those meetings that we should not be doing things that the city council doesn't ask us to do.
I disagree with that statement.
Well, that is his perspective. So we did do the thing that he asked us to do. And I personally believe that even if we don't go through with the full-on new location expansion, I think it is worth the city's time to at least figure out what type of library patron lives on the west side. Like those residents
study.
deserve that. That study at a minimum deserves to be done. And I don't think that that is such an extreme cost that it's worth saying no to. Because you at least have the data and then you can choose to do nothing. The data would tell you whether or not you need to do something. We may find out that they don't need anything, and then that's fine. But we have a marker at least of who lives over there. What are their needs?
Are you familiar with what she's referring to?
You have a study already?
No, we were asking LSNS to do one, and that is one of the
Oh.
things that we
Was
were
there-
told.
They
that-
had first time it was a needs assessment. They were putting together the quote to be presented to Robert the week of our meeting,
Oh.
and Robert said, we're not.
Oh, so we never even knew what it would cost to do that, the needs
Mhm.
assessment. I'd be curious to know how LSNS does that needs assessment, like what, like, do they pull data based on? Are they surveying people? Are they just pulling like demographic data? Are they,
I believe it's a combination,
okay.
but I could get a
'Cause
plan out.
if it makes it into the budget, I did ask for a new tool that would give us incredible data on, people who visit and residents. That would, cause I would agree with, we don't actually know who our residents are outside of census data.
Yes.
Cause it's hard to know
Right.
that, but there are tools out there that you can pay for that can tell you a scary amount of data on people.
Yeah.
From where they've been, where they're going, how much money they spent there, what their likes and dislikes are. It's,
Right.
I-
I think that it is worth our time and our money to figure out what type of person has moved into the west side and what do they need?
sure.
Because even like one of the things we talked about with this branch is not like this, but maybe it has more smaller individual meeting rooms that fix that one patron's comment. It has really fast internet.
Yeah.
It has quiet spaces. Like it has some of the things that maybe aren't here.
I'm gonna be very honest, I don't know that there's ever a future where you're gonna get a storefront. I think that.
That's
we
all
are-
that's over there because all of the other land belongs to the developers.
Well, but as we mentioned earlier in this meeting, we already have a library that is larger than what you would typically have for our size city. And so to justify another physical space for a 12 square mile city is gonna be difficult. Now, what did sound like it could be a possibility was a mobile solution. And that opens you up to lots of possibilities, right? It could service the west side, but it could also go to schools and it could serve other groups in the community that maybe are already underserved, our Latino population. It has a lot of possibility that is more likely to happen, I think, and would be less of an investment overall in the future. But again, like this wasn't, there hasn't been a full study done. There's
Right.
data that needs-
I think my issue is saying we're not interested in
Well, yes,
anything
Oh, I don't
without doing a study to find out what's
Right.
needed or necessary.
It's not a lack of interest. It is definitely a lack of funding. So, and I see where you could say that they show interest by putting the money where there's interest.
Mhm.
And that is true. And right now,
There's a lot of money going towards a certain demographic of the city, and it's not the demographic that's paying the city's bills. And the demographic that's paying the city's bills is not being served well.
I have to be
Probably
impartial.
different.
Don't have anything to say.
Heard that before.
And then what you were saying though, was interesting to me, because it's not just, if we did something like that, it would be citywide. And I think we could be surprised that it's not just the west side. We could see there's different interests elsewhere, even in the close knit,
Mhm.
what we would, and we might see that we're on point or we're off point on.
Right. It's always amazing
to
to me
see.
that people are unaware of
Yeah.
what is available,
Mhm.
even if they're down the street. So I have worked with the city for 17 years. That's scary to say, but it's always amazed me. It's like, if they don't seek out the information, it's almost like they don't see it, because we try to hit people in a whole, a gamut of ways. But short of knocking on their door and saying, hey, did you know about this, this, and this?
Right.
Some people just don't want the information, and then there's those that don't know how to access it, but there are lots of issues.
But there are
Point
also
being-
odd perceptions in some of the leadership about, how utilized we are and how important we are to a lot of people.
Mhm.
And I think they don't understand always the traffic that
Yeah.
comes in and out of here. busy it is sometimes, you know, that we could be something even bigger if everyone believes
Right.
in what we're already doing even, and then with the boost and some mobility, the east side's something we gotta keep it.
Right, because they're working on redeveloping all of that too, in the way that the design district was redeveloped.
And
So I think,
I think we get provincial
yeah,
about the old farmer's branch.
yes.
You know, and I've lived here since '74, so I got this hysterical or historical perspective. I remember what it was about.
Right.
You know, way before that stuff, it did before then. But I don't think everyone pays attention to
And
what's
you'd be
happening in the
surprised how much,
community.
because like, me, you'd be surprised, I talked to a wall, I mean, I would have conversation with a wall. And so I talk to people. I mean, like I said, I know the dogs in my neighborhood,
Right.
not the people.
I always see you talking to yourself walking down the street.
No, I'm normally on the phone, but you do. But, like one of the people I walked into was, Lacey's mom, Whitney. And, before the power outage, one of the new houses were built, they were gonna cut our power for a day because they had to run all the new lines to the two new houses. And she's like, can I work from home? I said, library. She's like, what? I said, library, web chapel? Is that what that is? And I'm like, I mean, this is very educated people right over there in Brookhaven. I'm like, she was, I could go up there and work. I said, fine. And after the next time I saw her, she goes, it was wonderful. I was outside. I could connect to the Wi-Fi. This was, and they ended up not cutting the power, but I stayed there anyways all day. And I met a new person on Rawhide, and she's got a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and she's pregnant. I said, go to story time, summer funshine, and summer reading program. She's like, they have stuff for the kids at the library. And I'm like, it's amazing. I know. I just have a billboard on your shelf when you're walking around. About the library.
Yeah. Well, we have so many like ways our communication team, I know we're getting way off topic, but
Yeah.
there's lots of ways to communicate.
Yeah.
In the
Those
direction.
things. Well, I know,
The general
not in the general discussion. There is no
Yes.
general discussion, but we are getting way off
But
topic.
I think if we do have any major input, that needs assessment would be
I think it'd be helpful.
incredibly helpful.
I mean, we don't
At the very least,
know what you don't know.
I think, well, good for future planning, and I think it would be helpful to at least find out what does it cost?
Yeah.
What does it cost? What do we get for that money? And,
Doesn't hurt to
Yeah.
ask.
right, just,
Is that-
I'd like fact finding. Instead of just saying, no.
And whether it's even wanted. And
Right.
badly, yeah, because if it's not wanted, then, okay,
It doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. But if it's really wanted, then.
Or needed, or what have you, or what, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you can't know. Without-
Data.
Right. All right. Let's move on to library card designs, because I think this is really fun. Yeah, because this was the last bit. Yeah. Okay, library card designs. So you have in your packet what our current card looks like, as well as 3 options.
So I reviewed these, I already have my choices.
Good. I wanted to create an option fee.
Why am I?
I know. But what are our thoughts? What do you like? What do you dislike? What do you think is interesting?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What is the phone number that's listed? Is that like the main contact phone number? Is this like
The
a,
front desk.
okay, just the front
The
desk?
circulation.
Okay. I'm assuming that's the only phone number that we really need, right?
Do we have, I mean, I guess we can,
I mean, if you in particular wanted to reach, say, me and wanted to call directly to my office or to Ryan, the assistant director, those are listed on our website. But for the general person getting a library card, that is the number we would want them to call.
like if you just had a question.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah,
And
So that you don't bring your kid to Dungeons and Dragons and find out that it was canceled already. You could call.
or that it was for adults and not kids.
Well, this was a kid one, but they'd like canceled it, and I don't do social media, so I'd missed the,
Announcement.
Yeah.
I see.
and then my kids were mad at me. It's fine.
Follow our calendar
I know,
and it will show.
and it will show up. It'll be like, this was canceled. Don't come, baby. Okay.
Come lady.
Well, can we say what we like?
Yeah, this is open. It says Yeah, for discussing and taking action, so we're gonna.
If we're taking action
I
then,
like A because I'm old and I think it's easier to read on the white background. than
Yeah.
the background.
Are they all gone?
there's
Would you like
nothing
me to go
here.
get one,
And
or
the-
would you like me?
All right, well, I guess notepad.
We can write, I can, or
Tally. So
tally,
tally.
tally mark.
We can do-
I know
we
how
can
to
do
tally.
a- We can do
My-
ranked choice voting.
Feedback on the
I know,
other,
that's
just to get the
what-
background on the front. But the other one, I don't know these characters that well.
They're the books, they're the sides of the book thing.
Mhm.
I personally find the bird
It's
creepy.
like Frosty the
Yeah.
Snowman in that.
Mhm.
I,
It makes me think of Christmas.
Yeah, I personally don't care for the bird. It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
Um, I would like to put the bear on option C personally, but because of the way that the
There's a way.
shape and everything.
There's a way.
Okay. That was my option.
No,
D.
it's very.
Mass marketing put these together.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
that's okay. There's always a
Okay,
way.
the bear rather than the,
Yeah, I liked the word part of C.
Yeah.
But I think the bear is cuter.
And I like keeping the library book
Yes.
tree.
Uh-huh.
I do
Okay.
this.
That surprises me because that is actually on all of them.
yeah.
But it's
somewhere
big.
along.
Yeah, it's
It
big.
is bigger.
It
How about a
identifies
compromise?
more city.
What's your
What's your compromise?
So option C, you like the main piece,
Uh-huh.
but you want to change the bear to the left nav.
Yeah,
Why not then make the, what do we want to call this guy, Jeff?
he's a bird.
Put Jeff over
Like a
here
snowman.
on the minor card. Can we do that?
Do you like the bird?
Yes,
With his
Yeah.
creepy guitar?
it's Jeff.
Jeff is gonna follow you around. Just
Your thing.
Just pick
Yeah.
the name too.
So the, which again, there may potentially be a way, but the main reason the bear was not put on that particular
It's
one
because
is
it's he's portrait and,
Oh,
or
it's
he's
portrait.
landscape.
Landscaping.
This is more portrait.
Here's,
Yeah, I think you could bring,
this just needs to be smaller. Takes up less space. Put the bear here. And then, so this is smaller. I agree with you.
How about-
The typeface needs to change on this because it's hard to read. And then,
are you talking about the white on the blue?
just the Mansky Library, this is, what happened here was that Mansky Library, this is the font of the original city logo. It doesn't have to be that. It can be something a little more modern and
Mm-hmm.
bolder, so it doesn't, it might just be the printer, but it is difficult to read. But it doesn't have to be that big, it's not that big on these other ones, so there is a way here.
it's not normally that pixelated. It is, that it is been blown up for this picture.
Because this is, the card's not this size. The
Yeah,
card's
no.
much smaller.
Is that the bottom of this, I guess I need to go look.
It's this, that's
there
what's on
more?
the children's, that's on the children's.
You can actually, it goes
Side.
down to his feet. His
Yeah,
feet are there.
so
There's a little bit more.
he could fill out this space if we make this smaller.
Okay.
I can send you a.
Yes, Zach.
Just as a question
Yes.
between Jeff and the bear.
Uh-huh. His
Uh,
name is Bob.
Jeff and Bob. Is there an option where we let the patrons choose which one or everyone they want? Do we have to choose one?
We do have to make a decision because we do have to order immediately because
Okay.
we will not make it through summer if we do not get these ordered in the next
So
week.
the action item today is to finalize it.
Mm-hmm.
So then I would break it down like I do at work. Why don't we look at elements, discard what we do not like?
I do not like the bird.
But again, Jeff is loved by.
He just asked, what do you not like? And I do not like the bird.
That's one,
Well, then
What about-
Against
so
the
we do
bird.
the
Let's-
big
let's start-
option A and the little option
Oh,
C.
oh, hang
So
on.
you have a bird and a bear.
Well, but I
what
was,
I was gonna say, part of, let's looking at option A.
Okay.
The
I like
top
the
right
bear.
element, the blue background with the white
Mhm.
tree. Anybody like that?
Not really.
Okay,
That little tree there.
that, yes, this,
The Farmer's Branch logo, you did not.
I like it in the white with the book,
I like it
preferred,
in C.
The library.
yes.
Yeah.
Instead of the city. logo.
Correct.
I like but it's the city tree in a book,
yes,
which is what I like.
That
Yes.
wouldn't have been the
Right,
city.
it's its own thing, and I get that that's the city logo, but I think it's a library card, this is
It's just an
indicative
element.
of the library.
Yeah.
Okay. So the part of
That's-
option A that no one likes is the tree.
Right.
Yes.
So we,
And it's also in B. And I feel like the bear is somehow smaller, or maybe it's the way
It
the
is.
color
It is.
changing.
it is, the lower end is pulled up.
Yeah,
So back
I
to
mean,
option
you
A,
don't
though,
think
do
it
you like the white background of the?
yes, because I
Blue.
think that makes it easier to see on the white. What could also be interesting is there are 3 sides. Are there not to that? Are there only 2 sides? Is it just the bear and the bird?
There's a couple of them over here that are.
There's also the horse.
Yes.
And if you think the bird is creepy.
No, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, let's stick with
I
the
like the
bear.
bear.
I was gonna say, instead of the tree, you could do like all the sides of it. So it's like 3, you divide the top of, we're looking at A, right? So you have the bear, the bird, and the horse. Like all 3 of them.
Side
No.
by side across the top.
Yeah,
A lot
That's
of.
like.
it's a lot of color and stuff.
It's a
Okay.
lot of real estate too.
No, I'm throwing out options and ideas.
No, you are.
But I really do like on option C, the
The primary portion of.
the primary portion, the whole logo area
Yes. I
and
do too.
information, the infographic
I
bit.
guess the bear.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think it's just, it also focuses on it, the fact that it's the
Library.
French library, yeah.
Mhm.
So if we did that and put Bob
Bob the
over
bear.
here,
Mhm.
and if need be, swing the rest of the bottom logo over,
Yeah,
and then put Jeff on the small card.
So option C, keep the small portion of option
keep the
C.
keychain.
Okay.
As is, because that's what it is, right? It's a keychain card or supposed to be, yeah,
Yes.
Keychain card with Bob.
where he's gonna
Or
have
Jeff.
part of him.
And on
Can
the
we-
other side,
I-
bring,
Don't.
I feel like we have to probably make all of it because the way it's.
I think it needs to be consistent.
Consistent.
Whatever's on the left is also on the right.
I think so too. I think that would be better. The bird goes.
Sorry, David. It seems that the birdie has flown the coop.
So,
but it's the most prominent thing in the library.
but I do like the actual,
Wait, is there, hold on though.
You're gonna
Between
paint
option-
over it, aren't you?
No, I'm not. If you look, if you can get past his oddly shaped guitar, there is a creature that looks like it's trying to grab a book off the shelf, which is kind of fun.
Snidely.
The horse,
He's little.
he's still got a horse head.
Oh, does he? I can't tell in this.
Yeah.
This is how you can tell my age is I want to do this to paper. Like it is a touch screen and it is not. I need reading glasses and I would like paper to do this.
okay, but for option C, I do like just having the, like the tree and such on the smaller keychain, that infographic on that side, if that makes sense, compared to A and B of the keychains. Cause those are different.
And I like the orange, I know it's weird, I like the orange stripe. I think that draws attention
Mhm.
to the information.
So
I
you-
think for the most part, we like C is what it sounds like.
See, but you don't like.
See with the
Jeff.
bear.
But if we can't get the bear, I think it still is the best,
I think it's the best,
To me,
the best option. Yeah.
the best option.
In terms of,
I wish it had the bear. If it could not have the bear, then I think it's fine. as
Is the
is.
bear located here in the library somewhere?
It's on the children's wing side of the sculpture or book art,
So
whatever
do
it
we
is.
know, is it square or is it?
It's taller
Like,
It's
could you
more
cut it-
square than the,
than the bird.
the
bird
bird
is
is actually.
Y'all don't worry about the logistics of how to make it work. Just tell me what your ideal layout is.
That makes sense.
Option C with the bear instead of the bird is
That's what-
sounds what.
Okay.
Option A,
We can make it happen.
option A is replace it with the bear. Option B
As
is,
if.
As
As
is,
is.
if we can't put the bear there.
does that sound right?
That sounds right.
So we have
Stacy?
to actually
Yes.
move and
Make
vote.
a
Yes,
decision.
yes,
Say that
Zach.
again?
So we have two choices
Right.
that they're gonna,
So choice one,
Yeah, don't do A and B. again,
Don't
because
say
we
A and
already
B,
hate
this is
B,
already
that's
A and B.
too confusing.
choice one
Thank you,
is,
that's all.
Yeah.
choice one is to take new option C
C.
and replace the visual
Perfect, that's what I thought you.
with the bear.
Okay,
option two is to take new option C as is.
My point or my question, is it possible to move, when you're looking at the thing, move the picture over to the other side
So
where
that
the
the
keyhole?
keyhole is not in the
middle
middle of
of
the
the bear.
picture. Yeah, I see what you're
It's
saying.
gonna be in the middle of something.
Right, but
But it-
Kind of sort of not
I
really.
thought the other side it was.
If
That's-
we turned it upside down, it would be in the blue light.
That's the
As long as it's not
vendor,
over.
that is probably a question for the vendor printing. I have no idea.
This was just a mock-up that LSNS came up with
So if you
using
can
their,
customize
that, so we
it
can,
either
so
way.
we can probably get that switched over. Relatively easy.
Or just
You don't
send
want
it
your
that whole
keys
bunch
going
of-
through his belly?
basically, or his heart or wherever, you know, like,
Just have it not hole
Doesn't-
punched and you can do it.
and, and
Jeff doesn't have a heart.
it gets ratty at times, you know,
Yeah.
so. That's why it's,
Yeah.
Take pictures of these things and you just use your phone.
Mhm.
But, you know,
or that.
yes.
Yes, I use the app as my library card. a lot.
That's
Once you showed me that I could do that.
So move, I move then to accept option C with the modification of moving the bear as the visual as our first option on this.
Mhm.
And our backup option is as is new option C.
You second.
I second.
Okay.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. And that has passed. I'm finishing writing my notes because I can't talk and write. I will start writing what I'm saying.
That's awesome.
Yep, that's what I'm writing right now. Okay, so we are to our final agenda item, which is future items. Does anybody have a future item?
Question, because
Yeah.
we weren't able to vote on anything last week, did we? I mean, last month. Last month, were we supposed to finalize the book?
Oh, the challenge, the
And we couldn't,
collection development plan.
We have pushed that off. The new plan is to do all of the policies in a packet.
Okay.
And so they will all come
we
to
are
y'all.
gonna do them individually
No.
at the board.
I've gotten some help with that, so we're gonna do them all at once.
Okay,
Yeah, so we'll make a packet and we'll look at all of them at once and take them all to the city at once.
Okay.
So that'll be, I guess,
in the fall.
in the fall. Yeah, it will be in the fall. Remember, there's no meeting in
Okay.
July. So the next meeting will be whatever that second week, Thursday of
We get through our
August.
future items.
I think that was just her question. was
Well,
policy. Did anybody else
I
have
mean,
one?
somebody else might have to.
Do you have one? Oh,
Yeah.
David has one.
And it kind of goes back to some of the discussions that we were having here before, where you were talking about walking around with a placard saying, ask me about the library, right? Because people don't know,
No,
right?
they don't.
And I thought about that before I came here. Like, we do different events all around the city. You know, different departments do different events, right? The historical park does their things. You had Drive Live and all that kind of stuff, where we've had historically a presence of the library there at some of them, not all of them, but some of them. Right.
Mhm.
But what about a presence that's not just trying to get people to get signed up for library cards, but that's, did you know that the library had this kind of a thing? Right? That's the billboard for the back of the table. Did you know the library has this? Or maybe even the library has what? Question mark?
Yeah.
Right? With the lesser known things that the library has, like these new subscriptions that you're getting.
Or the innovation zone.
The
like
innovation
some of the
zone, or
stuff
that
that's
you
in it.
can check out a sewing machine. You know, the little things like that, if those were presented around the different events in coordination with other city events, I think that would be a benefit to the city.
At the same
Worth
time,
exploring.
piggyback on it, even like a little blurb in the newsletter that comes out in the water bill, a little corner, you know, like the library corner or something. Did you know?
Well, even if they were to do that for like different aspects of the city, but like 5 interesting facts about the library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, something like that. But if
Something like that.
you probably know off the top of your head, here's my list of services. Here's where their percentages are. And then way down here, here's these really interesting things. That you know about. Right? I'm sure
So
you
I
know.
do actually have kind of a plan for some of our upcoming outreach events. Then it is actually a sticker survey.
Okay.
So a giant poster that's has a list of the types of programs we have and a place for suggestion and a place for what time do you want to have them.
And it would be here. Right,
The location would always be here.
Right.
But we would take those, that survey,
To
it would be
everywhere
on
they
like a
go.
poster board size to whatever event.
Didn't we talked about that the city had been open to us, to some of the Denton five
But yes,
events.
just
you know,
give
some
me
of
a
those
list of those
events.
events.
I
Yeah.
know we were at
the
the.
Christmas tree lighting. and some of the
Yeah.
other
Yes.
ones.
You know,
That could be a action item for August is deciding what events we think is best.
to promote.
Does that,
What to promote.
what to attend? Does that make sense?
It does. I have a list started with staff of the events they are more interested in attending.
Yeah,
But then there's also some that I only have one staff member that wants to go. And I would need two
or 3 people.
or 3 people to go because it would just be too much for one
Let's
person.
get our newbies to volunteer.
Right, well, that could be a good thing for the August meeting of like, here's the things, and then you could have people sign up, I guess, when you can see everything all at once. Kind of like,
We're
you
going, to-
know, we're going
It's going to have a presence
to
here.
here at this event, and this event, and we need
To-
blank number of people.
Yeah.
And then it's on people's calendars. Well, and you know, months in advance. And I don't know.
Yeah, like I noticed the whole genealogy thing that got posted on socials. I was like, oh, I didn't know that was a big thing.
You did?
I mean, I know what genealogy is, but- or the
Like at
date,
that
what was it, the
service this year.
database of the month.
Database of the week.
Database of the week.
I have
I
like
believe
that
it's
part
not
of
only
the.
Heritage Quest, but we also have Ancestry.
Well, then there's the one about
Do
like
people
all
know
the
that?
legal documents that you could make for yourself.
Right, those are the
Yeah,
things I'm talking about. Do people know that those
Those-
services are available? They do.
Then-
They're probably their
Services like
purchase.
Udemy has
Yeah.
all that training
Yeah.
stuff in it.
And you know, like they did, and I know the city's really good about with the Dead Live and when they did the multicultural event, you know, when they do the little yard signs like in the median and stuff.
Yeah.
So why can't we do that ahead of time, like, you know, summer reading programs coming? And, you know, put that out and about, because we just assume people know about it and, you know, and they do, and we get a lot of attention, but, you know, there's still, like I said, I was floored to know that 3 of my very smart, active neighbors are like, you mean I could go work at the library? I'm like,
Yeah.
like what?
It's an education initiative,
Yeah,
public education initiative for library services. Categorize it as.
I think we just think some of it's going so well, you just think you don't need to publicize, but there's so many new people and newbie things.
Well, there's
How
people
many
moving in all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many people
Yeah.
move into the city every week?
Our
month?
neighbor turns over. So many young families now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Then maybe people just don't know.
When is library, sign up month? Is it like
September.
in
September.
So
It's a good
we
question.
could definitely do like a special insert in the water bill. I know that's very
Yeah.
old school and some people
But still-
don't get a water bill, but we actually send a special mailer to the apartments since they don't get a water bill. So there's a specific apartment mailer that has like the branch review in it. And so you can do an insert, you know, that's the size of the, you know, this.
Like a third of a sheet of
It's
paper.
like,
Third of the sheet,
get your free library card.
right? Get your free library card.
We
Here's
can
some,
put that on the list. for-
Here's some of the things you can do with it.
yeah, here's some of the services.
Yeah.
Beyond checking out a book.
Tentatively, we are planning a library tour. So review of everything going on, but we will also incentivize because the theme for Library Card Sign Up Month is Transformers.
Oh,
So we are looking to see if maybe there's a local performer we can hire to come out and be part of that, do tours of the library.
So you can tie it in with the library more than
Mhm.
meets the eye.
Something.
transform your life with a library card.
There it is.
I did it.
Zach, I like that
Zach-
one.
You did not.
I'm just trying, a tour of the library. I'm not that.
No, he's thinking of like tour of the library with like Bumblebee. That's where my brain went.
So you would rather we buy the costume and have one of our staff members be the Transformer? and
I
lead them around?
mean,
Are
that
you
could be
volunteering?
really
I am
entertaining.
not volunteering. I'm taking minutes.
Go to a Hollister. Go to a Halloween costume.
It's like I wouldn't volunteer to be with the bubbles in the foam.
Okay,
That was all.
are there, no, that's a really good one to put on there, especially with like starting at the new
Mhm.
term and everything. So
Was some of this group not gonna be back?
me, unless, well,
Oh, did you
I'm
go for it
eligible
again?
to be renewed, but I don't know when they,
I believe they're having their
They're-
meeting for assignments.
It's
Did some switch.
coming
week.
week, yeah,
We should definitely check out the city agenda.
yeah,
Cause I won't be
Oh,
here
yeah.
in August, so I won't know. Whatever.
yeah.
I'll be here after August. I have another year.
Yeah. So you may not see me again in August,
Oh, no.
and I will miss you if that's the case, but I would love to come back.
Well, I hope you do.
Well, I mean,
Because you're turning out.
We need a new.
well, I
We
mean,
don't
I
need
have
a
to be
new leader.
renewed. They have to
Yes.
decide that I can
Yes,
come back.
historical
Yeah, it's also to all.
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
But after a
give it
certain
some
amount of
common
time,
sense
you
on
can't do it.
reality.
yeah, that's true. All right, so with that, for those of you who are not at the end of your term, August 8th, no meeting in July. And August 8th is the second Thursday of the month. So that would be our normal standard time. So as long as that works for the two, no.
Yeah, but that's the only one I.
Well, it's you, like it has to work. So, yeah. You pretend that Stacy, David and I will not be here when you come back.
We've been a
We have
little.
to
I could come on the first, but I couldn't come on we go the whole month of August, Tark.
And see, and
I
the,
always started
If they
earlier rather
did
than
meet
later.
the-
I could do first.
I could.
Yeah.
wait,
So August-
first would be better.
August 1st, I think would
I
be
can do
better
the
since
first. We
she's,
leave that Saturday.
yeah, so August 1st. So
That
let's
would be
set it for
great.
that, August 1st.
We'll be here.
Will that work?
I don't know.
That'll work for me.
Y'all tell me, I make it work with what you tell me.
Okay, if
Yeah.
August 1st works, then let's do
That'd be great.
that.
Just
Cause I always
one.
worry about missing
Mhm.
that very first one, cause there's.
Yeah, all the people.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that
maybe it'll be all,
yeah, 'cause
maybe
I-
it'll be all home week, who knows?
It wouldn't work.
But I know we also elect.
Officers and things.
Everything's,
Well,
everything starts fresh.
Everything starts over.
If I'm remembering everything right, July 31st is the training for newly appointed members,
Yes.
which means the day after training would be their first meeting.
Sounds
That's
good.
okay.
It's fresh in their mind.
They're brand newly trained.
Why wait?
And if they haven't turned in everything, we can get it that night from them.
No, we got hounded.
All right.
I did mine on time.
Anything else?
Anything else?
And you have to retrain on some of it.
Any other new business?
I just had maybe something that we can talk about in a future meeting, going away with the fines, the overdue.
Yeah,
fines,
the fee free.
fee free.
Mhm.
That's probably gonna be an extra meeting
Yeah.
agenda item.
Mhm.
So.
It's been discussed before, but it never really went anywhere.
I think it's part of the policy.
That in the package,
That's
we
that
might be
council.
looking at in the future.
It has to.
Potential,
It's budgetary.
It's about budget stuff.
but that does require city council approval, city management approval,
That's right.
all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
There are quite a few implications involved in that.
But we can put it on the agenda so that we can at least understand what it means to do that as an educational experience.
Probably find out how much it would cost to get a survey of the Washington.
All right. Going once, going twice.
Move to adjourn.
All right, David moves to adjourn.
8:04.
Seconds?
All right, Lee seconds. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. All opposed? Nobody. Great. All right, so we are done. It is, I'm gonna say 8:05.
Give me just a second. Fine, be right for it.
I don't know if we didn't scare it off.